Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
Welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using a gift balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Audible, Podchaser, Streaker, Spreaker, you name it, I'm there. Why? I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness and balance out all the bad news that is so readily available everywhere you turn, especially if you pick up this thing and start doing your MS meaningless scrolling. But you know, after 12 years and 628 consecutive weeks on the air on camera, that this is the place that you land when you want to know what's good about people, what's good about the world, and what solutions are happening. And I'm so delighted to have my repeat guest. I think this is either number 3 or number 4 for Mr. Jeffrey Sitcov, who is the founder and the chief of Doors of Change, one of the wonderful organizations that I do support, along with, as you heard, Fran Drescher's Cancer Schmancer. I am all about those temporary areas of darkness that we seem to shake our heads at. I don't want to shake your head. I don't want you to shake my head. I want you to get into action and actually do something about it. So without further ado, I'm welcoming back as well Joanne Newgard, who is the program director of Doors of Change. Please welcome them back to my studio. Hi, welcome back.
Good morning. Thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm just going to do this and see if we can adjust, if that's going to, oh, that's better. There we go. Now we get more faces. And let's see. We're going to start with breakfast. I don't know if we did this the last time you were here, Jeffrey, which is I like to start every show with taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. So 8 specific things that we're grateful for that are outside of ourselves, and 8 things that we appreciate about ourselves inside. Joanne, I know you're new to this, but it's a little good life habit and a blissipline, #blissipline, that I love starting the day with, so that we really anchor not listening to the CNN constantly negative news that is available everywhere. Okay, here we go. And welcoming anyone in the chat to also participate. I see we have eyeballs rolling in. Thank you for joining us. You are invited to also put your gratitudes into the chat. All right, here we go. I am grateful for technology that allows us to connect wherever we are. And that's a #COVID silver lining that I think is a wonderful thing, that we don't have to travel as much as we used to think we did. So I'm grateful for that. What are you grateful for? Let's go to Joanne.
I am grateful for good health. I value that so that I can be able to be really present and attentive to all that is needed.
Fantastic. Jeffrey?
I'm grateful for my grandfather, my mom, and my wife, who are the most 3 special people in my life.
Aww. I think that's almost 8. I'll just top it off with I am grateful for all the love that I got from my daughters for Mother's Day. It was she wrote a poem I don't know if you're on my social, but I put it to music and it's just incredible. So that's one of my favorite days of the year for sure. All right, let's go to the bottom of the bun, which is, what do you like about yourself? And this is something that I know, Jeffrey, you teach when you bring the homeless youth off of the streets, is working on self-worth, self-esteem. And I know that it's a dis-ease that we are going through. A lot of people in America, especially. The good news is we're talking about mental health. The bad news is a lot of people are reaching outside of themselves for the solution. So I like us to practice and weight lift the ability to self-soothe, self-care, and self-love. And that starts with, what do you like about yourself? So, Jeffrey, I'm going to start with you this time.
I like that I think of others many times before I think of myself. More of a giver.
Beautiful. Joanne?
I like about myself that I'm a good mom, and I'm very forgiving and tolerant, and have a pure heart.
Beautiful. And that leaves me with one more. And then we have a grade 8 at the bottom of the bun. Mine would be, I appreciate that I am no longer trying to be perfect. And that when I do screw up, like this morning, I was in the wrong studio, that I can just not beat myself up and go, oh, well, I'm 88% perfect. 12% of the time I step in it or I make a mistake, and it's okay. And I do like the fact that I can now let that go. So that is the discipline that I want you to all do for the next 28 days, whether you do it on the show with me or not. If you start and end with gratitude, you will sandwich your day in the most positive way. And I invite you all out there to do that. So thank you for joining us for breakfast. Frankly, if you can't approve of yourself, how the fork do you expect anyone else to approve of you? All right, and Joanne, could I have you just lower yourself or the camera, because your head is right in the KCAA logo. I don't want to lose any part of you. And let me just give you a more formal introduction. One of my favorite nonprofit solution-focused organizations that I'm proud to be a sponsor of, along with the star-studded group of my favorite kind of celebrities, those who take their limelight and shine it on areas of temporary darkness, including past guests of mine like Lucy Arnaz from The Lucy Show, Anson Williams. You all know Potsy. He's been on multiple times. Doors of Change founder, Jeffrey Sitcov, has received support from so many people who recognize the importance of his work, from musical legends, Elton John, Billy Joel, Rolling Stones, Bruce Springsteen, Carlos Santana, Tony Bennett, and Three Dog Night, as well as comedians such as Billy Crystal, Steve Martin, and the late Robin Williams. Doors of Change is also supported by 7 of TV's most iconic moms, 2 of them, or 3 of them actually, who've already been on my show, Marion Ross, Mrs. Cunningham from Happy Days, the Dee Wallace, who's the mom from E.T., and Michael Learned from the Waltons, just to name a few. As founder of Doors of Change, Jeffrey Sitcov has done an amazing job raising $5.9 million for homeless youth, and proudly announces that this is the first time in over 21 years that they've placed 688 youth per year in safe housing in the last couple of years, shattering records from previous years. They've also reached another milestone, helping over 2,800 homeless youth in safe housing since 2001. Program Director Joanne Newgard, I don't know why I'm having won San Diego Woman of the Year last year for the work she's done with Doors of Change from San Diego Magazine. So we have Jeffrey and Joanne here today to talk about the importance of help for these homeless youth, for those of you who have not heard them before, and also to announce the 2024 Concert of Hope, starring 3-time Grammy winner KC and the Sunshine Band on Saturday, July 7th at the UCSD Epstein Family Theater.
27th.
Pardon?
27th.
Yeah, I said 27th. July 27th, didn't I? Okay. With the sponsors help, 100% of the ticket sales will go to getting homeless youth off of the streets.
Okay.
That is your formal welcome. Thank you for showing up again and just helping us understand the importance of this particular work. And I am always I am happy most of the time to be supporting this particular nonprofit, because I do know that you do good work. And we also had a wonderful beneficiary on the show. I think maybe 2 times ago when you were here, Jeffrey, who came. She went from abuse at home to abuse on streets into the program, and I believe last year graduated from law school. So it is so wonderful to see you guys back, and take it away. Tell me what is going on, what's happened since the last time we spoke. I know that COVID hit you guys pretty hard, but take it away, Jeffrey.
You know, since COVID, we had to reinvent ourselves because our award-winning music and art program of 18 years, we had to stop. And since that time, though, we've had records. We've actually housed more than 5.5 times more youth now than we did 4 years ago. And the reason we did that is we said, listen, these youth still need help. What can we do differently during COVID to still help these youth? And we reinvented ourselves. We put posters up everywhere around the city that let the youth know where, what we do, very bright posters. And the result of that is that you started calling us by the droves. We started helping them instantaneously. When they called us, we picked up the phone immediately. And the result of that now is in the last 3 years, we've housed 849 youth, which is a record of over 188 youth.
That's awesome. And let me just preface or go back and put the moose on the table on something. I've had several guests on the show talk about homelessness. And for the average person, when you say the word homeless or you drive through any area, and certainly we all know that, COVID advanced the state of homelessness in California for sure, and in all parts, the level of the ability to take care of yourself was negatively impacted by COVID. So just to put the moose on the table, which is my Canadian version of talking about the elephant in the room, what would you say are the most misconceived or BS belief systems that are completely not helpful and just plain wrong about homelessness and our ability to make a positive impact?
Well, I think that's an excellent question. And certainly we get asked of that quite often. And I think the biggest misconception, certainly with the demographics we work with, which is 17 to 24-year-olds, is that they choose to be homeless, that this is their choice, that they don't want to conform to employment and lifestyles and to be part of the society. And that's just such an unfair commentary. And because many of these kids are very troubled. They've come from very unsupportive homes, whether they be abusive with single parents. A lot of these kids have been raised by single moms who have their own addiction issues. And so I think the misconception that these young people choose to live on the streets is very detrimental to the support that we can get for this age group.
I think that is absolutely exactly what I wanted you to bring up. And if we continue along that line, just to close it, the homeless population is often, grouped as one homogenous, and I'll take the extreme. I don't believe this, but I've heard it, that it's just lazy people who don't want to get a job and want to take advantage of the social system and do drugs and just waste away their life and not be a productive member of society. And that is BS. It's a belief system that keeps you from doing your work, certainly, and keeps us in this cycle of homelessness because you don't want to help. You shake your head and it's not my problem. Well, folks, one, we're humankind, emphasis on kind. It is our problem. If there's homeless on the streets, it is our problem. We are one, number one. Number two, that population, I'm sure there are a little percentage of individuals who probably make it into the media, into the headlines, who are in that population. Mm-hmm. But I know, as formerly in clinical psychology, I was a assistant program manager at a facility. When one of the presidents completely dismantled mental health hospitals, where do you think they went? They went on the street. That is a large population that is out there without help, without a home, without support, and they don't have the capacity to help themselves. Yeah. So please stop if you're touting any of the rhetoric that I'm saying that is so harmful. And I would say, I don't know, Jeffrey, if you know the statistics, if they've actually broken this down. I wish they would and say, 30%, my guess is at least 30% of the population is in that category I just talked about, where Camarillo Hospital was closed, because I used to do work out there. That population is on the streets. Sure. And then there's another 30, I don't know, tell me what the percent of homeless youth is, if you have that statistic, because those are the ones, like Joanne just said, are out there because they don't have a choice. Things are so bad at home that it is, can you imagine how bad things have to be at home for them to think that being homeless on the streets is an improvement? Like that's what hit me when we had the last interview. Jeff.
Of the 4.2 million youth that are homeless in America today, and by the way, that went up from 3.6 million 3 years ago, 40% are LGBTQ plus. Just because they're gay and they come out to their parents, they throw them on the streets. That's, 40%. Our caseload is almost 50% of the youth we work with are LGBTQ plus. And they did nothing wrong other than come out and say, I'm gay, and they get thrown on the streets. That's sitting in 2024.
Wow, I'm so glad I asked that question. I had no idea. So first, that significant statistic is what I was referring to. I didn't know they give me the numbers before. Pre-COVID was how many homeless?
3.6 million. And now it's 4.2 million.
Now 4.2 million. Is this homeless total or just homeless youth?
Homeless youth total, and that's from HUD.
Okay, 4 million after COVID. And do you have the total homeless, not just homeless youth?
I don't know what the whole total is, but I think homeless youth is about 20% of the total population of homelessness.
Okay, which is only 20%. But it's not that we have to choose who to help, but certainly the negative impact of youth, that is just like breaks my heart, right? Yeah. So because their ability to take care of themselves, they haven't had the years of experience maybe that an adult youth an adult homeless. Yeah. Not making comparisons, but that's why I think your organization is so important to help. If we're going to start somewhere, let's start with the youth.
The one thing that's important to know is that of all the homeless youth and the homeless age in America, the homeless youth, transitional age youth that we work with, 17 to 24, have the highest rate of breaking the cycle of homelessness of any other age group because they have not been on the streets that long. They're not that mentally ill. that much addiction, that if we help them and give them a hand up, they have a chance of breaking the cycle more than any other age group, which is significant when people think of who they want to help.
That's super important to know. 17 to 24, you said?
Yes.
Okay. That's great. That's great. I love getting good news. That's definitely a good news statistic for sure. Joanne, did you have something you wanted to add?
I did. I think when you spoke about mental health, that is so, back in the day, Ronald Reagan closed all our mental health institutions, and we've never sort of figured that out in California. So we probably, as a nation, we have the highest mental illness in the world. So if you take that number and you sort of, tailor it down to our homeless youth who suffer with addiction and poverty often in other situations, you can only imagine. Most of the homeless youth we encounter as clients do have mental illness. And that could be from depression all the way to full-blown schizophrenia. So these kids are wandering around. They sort of got lost in our public schools. Some of them can't read. So they have difficult time finding jobs. So it's just a combination of things. So people are so quick to draw, as we started earlier with this session about that they choose to be homeless, they choose to be lazy. When they have to survive in a society that really doesn't support them and give them that benefit of having a full household support, and to be out there on their own coupling with mental illness as well as addiction, it's very difficult to navigate. So our job as youth advocates, and we do have the homeless youth advocacy program, which we pivoted since COVID, is to really support these young people and to help them with their self-esteem. Because the truth is, if they have good self-esteem and they feel good about themselves, they're going to want better lives. So that is what I think we're most proud of in our program, is to really help these, not just to get off the streets, but to stay off the streets. And staying off the streets means an investment in you. And how do you feel better about yourself? And that's what I think we're most proud of with our case managers, how they support these young people.
I've met almost all of your case managers, and they're so wonderful. And I've shown my mug to many events, so they're like, I feel like a high school reunion, and
we
they're
love
just lovely.
Pardon? We love your support.
Oh, they're just so wonderful. So okay, so it's almost it's a recidivism statistic, which I'm not gonna try to write that down. But that is this one. See if I got this correct. The best group to help youth ages subject with the highest rate of getting off and staying off the streets.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So, okay.
However, one other thing that's important to know is that this age group, the transitional age youth, are the most underserved in the entire homeless population, because people think, oh, they're adults. They can take care of themselves. They're 18, 19, 20 years old. These kids emotionally might be 13 years old because they have been taught by their parents to do the proper things to survive and to succeed in life. And so they need the help. They need a hand up. But that's a misconception. They're the most underserved. The least amount of money that is given is for the 17 to 24-year-olds.
Interesting. Yeah, because I remember you highlighting this before, this particular age group as the underserved. So that's why I was so excited to hear the one that I just put up here, is that we went from underserved below sea level to not only sea level, but beyond, in that they are sort of the best to invest in, so that and I know that they turn around and help, which is the wonderful thing about your organization. Is the one, like another organization that I do support as well, Spirit Awakening, that's dealing with youngins in the juvenile system. And they're the ones that when they do heal, they're the first to come back and help with the next set, which is such a beautiful thing. And I see it in your organization as well, for sure. And kudos for that. And just, every time I do this, every time I have you've gotten so many awards from me. They're the same award. I should have it every year for it, but I would like to just take a moment now and let's just take a deep breath right through the nose And releasing, I'm going to wiggle my fingers and just wish Doors of Change continued success, continued support from all those who know. I absolutely endorse and know that this particular group doesn't, take the money and have a private jet. They take the money and they put it back into helping the homeless youth. And for that, you get Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award once again.
Thank you. It is very hard to trust who you should trust and give your money to, because you don't know if they're going to come through with their word. But our 23 years now of doing this, helping over 2,800 youth get housing, our numbers speak for themselves.
Absolutely. And speaking of support, I think I asked you this last time. You have a pretty impressive roster of supporters who donate things, talk about you, come and perform. I put on the promo yesterday. One of my favorite was Three Dog Night. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Anyways, that was a lot of fun, and this is a once a year thing that I bring you on for sure, so that everybody knows to meet me on the dance floor at the concert in San Diego at the Epstein Center. So if you've just tuned in and you're wondering what's going on here in studio, it is Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. NBC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course, my show central YouTube TV channel. So if you free subscribe, you'll get an alert every weekday morning to tune in to a show about hope and happiness. And we are talking pure hope today. This is hope and happiness for homeless youth. Central San Diego, California. I had the founder and program director of a group called Doors of Change that you're going to want to support, because they are making a difference with the homeless youth. And Jeffrey, tell us about the concert this year.
Yeah, every year we have a big concert because we want the community to get to know the homeless youth. I'm actually meeting two of the youth afterwards for lunch. They're going to be speaking at the concert. They're homeless youth that have a tremendous story to tell, and they touch people deeply. So you can have a great time dancing to Casey and the Sunshine Band, but more importantly, 100%, I'm talking 100% of the proceeds will go to get kids off the streets. We've already raised enough money with our sponsorships that everything is paid for, and we already have $50,000 now going towards our program, but we need a lot more because we just hired a $55,000 case manager. We're so busy right now that we had to hire a third case manager, and these funds will go to pay for that and to get more kids off the streets. It's July 27th. Go to doorsofchange.org. Literally 100% of the proceeds will get kids off the streets. And please come up and say hello to Dr. Marissa and I and say, we saw you on the interview. Come and make a difference. Anybody in Southern California, come and drive and take a stand. It's not right to have homeless kids that are in America today.
Absolutely. Are you seeing this? I'm pulling up the website.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. And I'm going to play this. How long is this little clip?
4 minutes.
Okay. Is that okay if I play it?
Absolutely. It's powerful.
All right, here we go.
I was homeless because originally I ran away when I was 12 because my stepfather was abusing me, and I was afraid that the abuse would continue to escalate as it was. And I just figured it might be best for me to leave that environment.
I was homeless because my mom was addicted to drugs. She would spend our money, or she wouldn't make any money. She would spend it on narcotics. So we lost our apartment.
I was homeless because my mom was going through a lot of mental challenges. She decided to move to Texas when I was 16. I was still in high school. I had no idea what to do. So I had a car and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna thug it out in my car, do my best.
I was homeless because I was facing physical and sexual violence at home. My father had been abusing me for years. I just didn't feel like I was safe, and it was better for me to leave rather than do anything that I would end up regretting later.
The Homeless Youth Advocacy Program came out of COVID because we had to shut down our award-winning music and art program of 18 years. We had to think out of the box of what we can do to reach these youth during this pandemic. And so we started doubling the amount of outreach workers that went on the streets to find the youth. We started putting up posters that actually listed what we do, what they can get help with, and our telephone number and Facebook page. And the youth started calling by the droves.
Outreach certainly is the initial key part of our program, but certainly the case managers and communicating with them is critical, because especially if we're in an outreach moment where youth is willing to sit down and call the case manager, it's important they pick up the phone. We have small windows of opportunities. So we have 2 case managers that are very committed and very aware of their phone, and when a call comes in, they answer.
Doors of Change is different than other organizations, I think, in the fact that they're very hands-on, they're very active, they're very caring. I think, it's very obvious that they love what they do and they do it for the purpose of helping people. It's not just another paycheck, it's not just another job. It's very wholehearted, and us, like the people they're helping, we feel that. I feel that.
Our success with placement and housing is we address the mental illness first, because honestly, if you get them good mental health, get them to admit they need mental health, and support them, they will find good jobs and they'll keep the jobs. They will stay in the housing that we provide for them.
In 2022, we were able to house 349 youth, which was a record-breaking 188 more than the previous year.
The donors have the most power to help these kids, because it all comes down to money. Without the money, we can't provide these resources. These kids need case managers. They need people that are going to help them put their lives back together.
If you're a donor and you're looking to help an organization, Doors of Change is the place to go, because they are active. They say and do as they say they are going to do. They genuinely work from the heart. And to give your money to people who are working with the youth and they're doing it because they love to help people, that's the world I want to live in.
The success stories make me smile, because I think of the youth when they were when I first met them and where they are now, sometimes 20 years later.
This is right when I was getting on my feet and turning 18 and starting to succeed. Yeah, this is a cool feeling. It's 18 years ago, and where I'm at now.
Doors of Change has helped me really just kind of get my life on track. The other organization helped me get housed, but that's kind of where it ended. Doors of Change really put their best foot forward and was like, this is what's next. This is, what are your goals? Where are you trying to head? And they've been pushing me on that same track and making sure that I stay on that track.
We're small and we're grassroots, and that, frankly, that's what attracts me to Doors of Change. We don't have sort of a bureaucracy to go through. We can respond quickly and urgently, and that to me is part of the success. And I love the smallness, because we're small and mighty.
Love is one word to describe Doors of Change.
Yay, that was beautiful. Very powerful. I love Justine there. She's the one I mentioned earlier that we had interviewed, and she's now a lawyer. And she also sells her own jewelry. And I think this is the one, but I did purchase some jewelry from her the last event that we had, which was kind of cool. Joanne, I want to just congratulate you as well for that wonderful award that you got last year. How does that feel?
Well, thank you so much. I of course feel very honored, because I think that what impressed me the most is I was in such a room filled with such amazing women. So, my daughter flew in from Texas to see this. And at the time I was just nominated. I did not know that I won until that night. So I think, again, though, as I mentioned, when I received the award, it's never about one woman, though. We're a team. We have, it's a collaboration of great case managers. And in my world, no matter what I've ever accomplished, it's been a team effort. And I think, being surrounded by amazing friends and family, my daughter included as a woman, women just get things done. As you said.
Sorry, Jeffrey.
And I'm just very proud to be a woman and to raise up. My daughter's now a young adult, and I'm so proud of her. And I love to encourage women, especially in the homeless world, because many of these suffer from poor self-esteems and poor self-image, and don't make best choices with boyfriends. So my goal there is to really provide them with good self-esteem so that they someday can receive an award for Best Woman of the Year. So that's my goal, and I felt very blessed and honored to receive it. So thank you.
Absolutely. And what I love too about the leadership in this particular organization, you'll never meet a group of less peripherally located egos in your life, which is just, and I know Jeffrey just adores you, and you are such a great a person to have, hands in there, and your spirit of caring is so prevalent and visible. So kudos to you. Special Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award. And I know that Jeffrey knows that he couldn't do, because he also is very humble and has always acknowledged the teamwork that it has been such a critical and important and valuable part of this Doors of Change organization. And I'm saying that as a commercial. If you are in San Diego and you have any time, retired, not working for whatever reason, and you want to do something that makes you feel good first and foremost, and be a helping hand to an organization that does really make a significant difference getting homeless youth off of the streets, especially in the underserved population of 17 to 24, reach out, go volunteer. You might even get hired. Because I know that you're always looking for people that really want to make a difference.
Yeah.
Can I please add to that? Because I know that you mean so well with your efforts, and you're such a person out there that people pay attention to. What we really need, and people ask also, if we have any therapists, family therapists, licensed therapists that would want to devote some of their time pro bono or sliding scale fees, that would be so appreciated. Really, again, that would be wonderful.
I was on the board of directors of Alliant International University, and they produce the highest percentage of practicing psychologists. If you're not hooked up with them already, I would like to hook you guys up so that they can have in their program the hours they could be doing with you.
That would be such a wonderful gift.
Oh,
Thank
good.
I just wanted to give a shout out, because our staff is so incredible. They bend over backwards for these youth, and these youth can tell if you're not really into it and you really are BSing, they'll see right through you. But because they pick up the phone 24/7, they're so gentle and loving with these kids. They don't judge them. They love them and let them be where they are, and they come forth because of that. That Joanne is a tremendous leader, but Nicole, Angel, and Turquoise, our three case managers, are truly remarkable individuals. They relate with these kids. And that's why we're breaking records every year, because the trust that they build is so quickly. I just can't thank them enough.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Nicole scared the living bejeebies out of me one year because she screamed my name and ran up and gave it. And I'm like, do I know this woman? I don't even think I'd ever, but she knew who I was. And it was just so sweet. Peace in, peace out, Nicole. Now I know exactly who she is. So just a shout out to her. Love to her too.
But that's so true. As they say, your case management, honestly, is only as good as your case managers. And we're blessed to have three amazing case managers.
Yes. And I just thought of something else. If you're in San Diego or anywhere around the world, you know somebody in San Diego who may have connections to driving around San Diego, and you see homeless youth, you see that. Go to Doors of Change and just screenshot their phone number, their contact information. I don't know if you even have a poster that they can print out, the ones that you use, and hand it out of the car with a bottle of water. Jeffrey taught me how to do that. When you see homeless youth, instead of shaking your head, I almost said something else. Instead of shaking your head at the plight of the homeless, you can do something, you can make a difference. Pass them off to this organization. Jeffrey, what were you going to say?
If someone is touched and they say, I want to help, I don't know what to do, go to our website, watch some of the videos. If you're touched, make a donation of any amount, because we have to have money for us to do this, to hire the staff that we're doing. We're growing so much. We continue to hire people, but 100% of their proceeds will literally go where they want it to go. Not in my pocket, but to fund the program to get these youth off the streets and, come to the concert. If you can't do that, we have an angel team, by the way. The California Angels gave us permission to trademark the name Angel Team. And so for $18 a month, which is not a lot of money for many people, but a monthly donation that auto pay every month of $18, we have 1,000 people doing that. That's going to fund another case manager to help more kids. So we just need people to say, listen, I will help. I can afford $18 a month or $50 a month. Whatever they can do is wonderful. Come to the concert, see firsthand what these youth, how they've grown, because they're going to have 2 youth speaking at the event, and it'll blow people away.
Absolutely. Here's some sponsors here. I'm taking you back to the website. BB King has donated guitars, signed guitars, and raised $165,000. So if you're a musician especially, and you have some money to donate and to help with your taxes, hey, you get really great, we just saw that video. This is the website here, Concert of Hope. You know what I'm looking for, Jeffrey? Do you still have all of those great, the piano, Billy Joel, the piano that you can bid on?
Yep. Go up under memorabilia right there. You bet.
Yes. This is, I know I have watchers and listeners who have, who are pretty famous musicians themselves. By the way, happy birthday, dear Stevie. Yesterday was Stevie Wonder's birthday. Happy birthday to you. He actually recognizes me, obviously, by my voice. So I wanted to say happy belated birthday to incredible man, Stevie Wonder. Speaking of which, maybe I will see if he has anything to donate.
That would be amazing.
Here we go. Steve Martin, signed recording, King Banjo. I saw him play the banjo at the, what's that outdoor venue that I always forget?
Theater?
No, the big one that does the Playboy Jazz Festival. I'm having I have great memory, but horrible recall. Anyways, I saw him play the banjo. It was good. Melissa Etheridge, signed white glary guitar. I got to interview her on the carpet one time. She's fabulous. Neil Young, Boss Skaggs, got to see him in concert as well. Ben Harper, he was last year's performer. Christian Hosoi, World Skateboard. Oh, that's new. So, hey, if you want to actually get your hands on it, come to the Concert of Hope this year, July
27th.
July. It's one of those months. July 27th. Is it a Sunday or a Saturday?
It's a Saturday night at the Epstein Family Amphitheater, UCSD. I would get tickets now because we've already sold 450 tickets. They're going fast. And it's going to be amazing.
That's fantastic. And I'll be there for sure, doing some interviews on the carpet. I usually you give me tickets to give away for Asian Oprah giveaway. Put you on the spot.
For you.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Last year I only got 2. So for any of you listening now or later, you just heard it. What a generous donation. I expect you to donate back and get an instrument when you're there. But the first 2 people to go to drmarissa.life and say Doors of Change get 2 tickets to this amazing event. Yeah. I'm sorry?
2 lawn seats each.
2 lawn seats each. That is so generous. Thank you, Jeffrey, for that Asian Oprah giveaway. That's here on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using a Gift Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. So I would like you to all go to that website, doorsofchange.org. ORG. It is ORG. Sometimes they do .com, but it is ORG. And please do go and support this very worthy organization. Final word. We're in the last 8 minutes of the show. What haven't you covered that you would like to share with us? We'll start with Joanne.
Wow, we did go over a lot of things. Thank you for that. I think most importantly, just to reiterate the importance of, as a community, we need really some support. I mean, the best news about COVID was when things closed down our art and music program, and we pivoted, as Jeffrey mentioned, and continued our outreach. We also extended ourselves to the community. We spoke to other community providers that we had not really talked to before. And what we found from that is together we can help support more people. So example, for Father Joe's and Brother Benno's, when they have young people in there that are homeless, 17 to 24, they now will reach out to Doors of Change. So I think the idea of having the community awareness is wonderful. We have 66 partners now that we work with. We work with the public defenders when they have when a youth will be incarcerated and is going to be released and doesn't have a plan. We'll be there to help them buy clothes, to look for jobs, to help them with their applications, to help support them. So what I would like to mention, as a community, we can all help together, and finding therapists that can do pro bono work. We work with car mechanics that help our kids and give them a good deal on when their cars need to be repaired. So I think just as a community effort, please, contact me as program director. I'm on the website. And if I know people want to help, I know sometimes they don't know how to help. I will direct you how you can help. And thank you for this and for getting the word out there so much.
Absolutely. Jeffrey.
I want to say, the youth are our future. And these youth, 4.2 million in America today, do not want to be homeless. They're not homeless by choice. Once they're on the street, they don't trust anybody. So we have a very successful program that builds trust quickly. We give them a hand up. They have to do the work. But as long as they do the work, we give them a hand up. They will succeed. And we've got many, many youth that are role models because of that give them hope that if they do hard work, they will succeed. They'll go to law school like Justine did. They'll be honored at Petco Park like Tyler was in front of 25,000 people for Employee of the Year and many other honors. They can do it also. And people in the community don't know who to help. Please help Doors of Change. We're proven, 23 years of track record, over 2,800 kids off the streets. Go to doorsofchange.org, make a donation of any amount. It's all helpful. Be an Angel Team member. Come to the concert. Whatever you can do, we appreciate. We're going to keep helping these kids for the rest of our life.
Wonderful. Well said. I fully concur 8,000% on that one. It is something that we can do. I just thought of a tagline. It's not a hand out. It's a hand up.
Yes.
Doors of Change. Not a hand out. It's a hands up. And I think that's important too. One of the reasons why I was attracted to this particular organization is they work on that, don't give you fish, teach you how to fish kind of, approach. So like you said, they do have to work towards it. They have to act on their own behalf. And that is something I think that it would be wonderful if everybody had that desire to do that and quit feeling entitled and quit feeling like a victim and quit feeling like you don't matter, because you absolutely do. Every one of the 8 billion on the planet are one of a kind, wonderful, unique, loving, lovable, and loved, and have a gift to offer to this thing called life. So please go to doorsofchange.org. I want to see you on July 27th so that you can, I try to take one day at a time in my life, but sometimes an entire month will hit me in the head. And that's what's obviously going on to my calendar now. And I will be back from China in time for this concert. I just got invited to speak at 2 universities there. So that's on my mind, and that'll be my excuse for today. But I am so delighted that I got you back here. The individuals that you will meet, certainly it's wonderful. Casey and the Sunshine Band, I love that. I love how you're also bringing back some real, important vintage performers. The Three Dog Night was, I still am talking about that because I just thought it was so amazing what they're doing. And they're also, doing philanthropic work. And I love being able to highlight that. So please go donate, as Jeffrey said, come enjoy the concert, come and bid on the things that are out there because it's so important to do so. Yeah. What would you say to anyone who is contemplating, the whole, how do we get help? I'm not feeling the love. I'm not feeling important. I am in a situation that is not good for me. I know that people stay in those situations. What would be your message to anyone who is maybe going through that right now? Jeffrey.
Joanne.
Oh, I think please to know that you can contact us at any time during the day, night, noon, holiday weekend, when everybody else is doing their own thing in life, and know that you will be received on the other end with very, very caring people that are non-judgmental and have unconditional love for those in need. Just make the call, send the text, send the email, and I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Just take the first step and we will be there for you.
Beautiful.
Nicole
is the...
I was going to say, we see your greatness before you see your greatness. And so we are there with you and for you for as long as you want us to be there with you. We're there for you. And we know that you can do it because we've had thousands of kids that have done it before you, and we'll help you along the way.
Beautiful. Nicole heard her name, her ears burning. She's on the chat to say hello. You are two of her favorite people. I'm going to take it up with you why I'm not also a favorite person, Nicole, but we'll take that up on July the 27th. Thank you so much for being here. This has been Take My Advice. I'm Not Using a Gift Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind, AM 1050, FM 106.5. And you can watch and listen on my YouTube TV channel. Please do free subscribe. Keep it here. You know the drill at the end of every show. I say it's all about balance. You ready?
Yep.
Who signs up? Who signs up, Jeffrey? Peace in, peace out.
Peace
World peace through inner peace. Fabulous. Thank you so much. Tune in tomorrow. We have doctors in the house tomorrow. We're talking about time and the preciousness of time. So keep it here. We'll see you tomorrow. Now go and have the best day ever.